So I think my last few days in Costa Rica were best captured by my Snapchat story. After we finished our final exam, I took a derpy selfie with Crisula and Natalie, and then we met up with Autumn to go get some ice cream at our favorite place downtown. And we sat in the Central Park of Heredia and just kind of talked about some things and enjoyed our last moments there.
Oh. This is my favorite thing. Just chilling, just guys being dudes, just eating our ice cream.
What's better than this? I like where we went on our first day of the Heredia tour and the San Jose tour. I like that.
We talked about like our favorite parts of the trip. For me, it was anytime we were at a beach, it's just like my thing. And we also talked about some of the things that were difficult and they were hard for us. For me, I just really hated getting stuck in the rain like almost every day walking home. It's really easy to complain about things like that, but it was all fine. After that, I made my way to Alajuela to say goodbye to my Costa Rican friends. We had some dinner, we swam in the pool, and then I made my way back to Heredia to McDonald's to get used to the American culture again, or at least that was my excuse anyways. Then I made my way into my host parents' house, then I started getting the feels of leaving, and of course waited till the last minute to pack. But the next day I didn't really need a lot of sleep to get ready. I, said goodbye to San Pablo, the little neighborhood where I lived, and then I said some goodbyes at the airport, and I was off at 1 o'clock. I left. And then thankfully they had Steven Universe on the airplane. I watched it all trip, and it was the best way to leave and get my connection to Atlanta, where I had my next flight that took me to Florida.
So now, it's a year later almost. I can reflect a little bit about everything, with a different mindset. A couple notes on USAC if you're thinking about studying abroad somewhere with them. I think that they're a very good program for people who are starting a new language. Like if that's your goal of studying abroad is to learn a new language, I think USAC is really good with that because since you travel with this group of students from the US and then once you're there you have all your classes with those students, it's like you don't have to use that target language the entire time, which can be really, really hard on your brain and it's really stressful. You still have a lot of intense language classes, but you get to speak English with your friends. So it's good to just have that camaraderie of these people who you can identify with, your paisanos, like the people that from the same country, and you get really close since you're all going through this culture shock experience together. So that I value a lot. I made a lot of good friends, and even though they live all over the United States, it's really nice that I got to meet them. But so on the other hand, I was already kind of fluent when I had went over there. So I'm taking Spanish classes all with my friends from the U.S. But because of that, I didn't speak as much Spanish. I thought every day was going to be Spanish, no English at all because no one can understand what you're saying if you speak English. But that's part of the culture too is that Costa Ricans, a lot of them know English because they teach it in schools and it's helpful for them in getting jobs. So I was speaking a lot of English, which was, it was okay. I made one friend that was Costa Rican and he kind of introduced me to all his friends. So that was the most valuable experience apart from the homestay with my host parents. So 2 things if I could recommend is try to make a Costa Rican friend. Try to go do Costa Rican friend things and do the homestay with your host parents. You really learn a lot just by living with them, the way that they live their lives, the way that they, eat, the way that they involve themselves with family members. All of that is really priceless in learning. So those are the 2 things I'd recommend. Make a Costa Rican friend, stay with a Costa Rican family. So yeah, adios. Ahora me voy y espero que pueda ir a otro país en el futuro.